remember I told you the story about the bridge where the local person put the curse on it? It'd be a terrible catastrophe once it was finished. I forgot we'd be coming down this way. We just crossed it. I thought I'd tell you once we were over. So that's the one where there's one screw missing.
So it's not complete.
Yeah, you would hope it's a non-essential screw, but then you start to think, why are there non-essential screws on a bridge? We may well see quite a few hikers, especially on a Saturday, because Fort William represents the end of the West Highland Way, a very, very popular hiking trail. And a lot of it we can see from the road here. It typically tends to be on the left hand side, but I'm sure we'll see some hikers.
So they call these the Three Sisters. It's gorgeous.
And gentlemen, a very warm welcome on board the Lomond Monarch. Can everyone hear me? Okay? Fantastic. Can everyone understand me?
Yeah.
Well, that's a first for me. But whoever can't, I'll try my best to speak the best English I can. Now if you look over to our right hand side now, just above the water's edge, just left where the little cottage is, you should be able to see the outline of a footpath just above the water's edge. Can you see there? Now that footpath, you can actually see some people walking along it right now. Now that footpath is very famous here in Scotland and it's called the West Highland Way. Island here. This is called Harbour Island, however locally is known as Honeymoon Island. Now it gets a romantic name because in the olden days the gypsy couples when first married were brought out here for their honeymoon. It was a gypsy custom that survived the island for the duration of their stay. Their marriage would last forever. Now I do have a special offer. If there's any couples aboard that want to go off and try this, you just need to come and let me know. And I'll drop you off and I'll pick you up this time next week.
Okay, that's our hotel. Do you see the Hilton there? The symbol of the Hilton in the blue, just to our right. That's our hotel. There we go, Hilton Glasgow, you see? Just to our
right up to the building you're going to see in a moment. It's the oldest house in Glasgow. It's that building, scaffold. 1471 it's been standing there and still in use. 1471 established, as you can see. So what they did do, they did all the excavations here once these old buildings were removed, and they found indeed the foundations of the old castle that stood at this point. Since probably the 12th or 13th century, a castle has stood here, because this castle belonged to the bishops of the great cathedrals.
13th century.
Built in the 13th century, and what you're looking at is a 13th century cathedral. The reason I'm telling you this story is because our city is going to mean so much more to you, because we have a saying in Glasgow: where is the bird? It never flew. Where is the tree? It never grew. Where is the fish? It never swam. And where is the bell? It never rang. So look up at the lamp standards.
Oh.
They're all around this whole square. Way at the very top is the little bird.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
See it? The tree the bird's sitting on was the one that kept the fire going. That's why there's a tree there. And then the ring in the fish's mouth is the story of the king and the queen. And the bell hanging from the tree was the one that he called his people to prayer. So where is the bird that never flew? Where is the tree that never grew? We learn that as children in nursery rhymes through all those many centuries. Where you look is the coat of arms of Glasgow. Our whole city's motto are those symbols. So when I take you through the city today, carved in lap standards, carved in our town hall, in our university, in our museums, everywhere you go, those symbols will be everywhere. But now you know what you're looking at and why they're there. Okay, we stop. Smug SMUG is an Australian artist, and he's painted many murals in the city, and that is St Mungo. There on the right. Just round the corner, the very same building, these are apartments, above shops. These are called tenements. Still in use to the 21st century, we still live in them. Well made, but these are all built in the Victorian times. These buildings, 1890s, 1900s. Park on the right, the Swiss cheese car park.
Go figure. I could have guessed.
So they're building more houses?
I definitely am coming in there. Did Robin? Oh yeah. We need to pick one out for Robin. You and your mom could have spent a week in this one building. All the pilcher plants. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, tiki statue.
Second, and if the guests get their pictures, there's a nice picture for you. Look.
Do they still use that building?
Of course, it's a university. It's a university. It's still in use and still expanding into the 21st century.
These were only built in 2014, and what they're done is the idea is to pay tribute to horsepower and how it helped develop Scotland.
Loch. Seems to even be a working lock. Indeed it is. The horse box. That's a big tall horse. A very big tall horse. I didn't recognize you in your black. No, they're all closed. Can't go in them.
What would you want to do?
Really? You can talk to Caesar. Give us your best Scottish look.
I don't have a Scottish look. I don't know what my
Every McGowan has a Scottish look. moat is dry. Oh, excuse me.
A boat didn't always have water.
It might have lions and tigers and bears. I can't keep track of you now that you're in all black. I was like, where did she go?
Bare legs that I know and love.
Bare legs and a bright colored polo.
Like arrow slits.
Murder holes is what they call them.
Holes.
Murder holes. Because he couldn't shoot into them.
That's not the view of a cannon you want.
The first battle that we're going to talk about was the Battle of Stirling Bridge, the bridge that we've already discussed. The medieval bridge, which no longer exists, was just basically down behind the trees. You can see the river meandering through the castle just below. It was a narrow bridge and it was wooden and it was only wide enough to take 2 horses or 2 knights. We're now going to fast forward just a few years to 1314. The Battle of Bannockburn, which sadly, because of the work ongoing here at the castle today, you can't view the original site for it, but it was about 2 to 3 miles just east of here. Now England's under the rule of Edward II, and Scotland under the rule of Robert the Bruce, thank you very much indeed. Robert the Bruce. So it was a battle of 2 kings. It raged over 2 castles. And we're going to talk about that part of the castle that you can see behind you. I'll come round the front. This is the forework of James. So folks, welcome to the Grand Battery. This was built in 1689, right at the beginning of the Jacobite uprisings, in order to shore up this part of the castle. In order to build it, they had asked Bonnie Prince Charlie and his commanders, excuse me, do you mind making your way around to another bit of the castle, just in case when all that fighting thing starts, they might overshoot you and destroy us. Agrees. Now, who knows what would have happened had they stayed out the front. But I think Bonnie Prince Charlie took bad military advice from his commanders. But he made his way round to the Gowan Hill, which is the cemetery that we can see just through the gaps in the stonework of the castle. Start to set up his siege. So folks, you'll be glad to hear this is as high as we get. So welcome to the inner close. This was the royal heart of Stirling Castle. So welcome folks, welcome to the Great Hall of James IV. As I've said, finished in 1503. I'm going to point out the royal dais to raised end of the Great Hall. The music would have been played on the minstrel's gallery, the wooden structure at the back, and the royals would have stood or sat at the royal dais, the raised end of the Great Hall. Raised for 2 reasons. I thought you were going to say something rude.
American Sign Language for Scotland. That's it. And my student laughed his head off when I showed him that.
Is that really the sign language?
It really is. And he laughed and laughed.
I've learned, thank you. I told you every day's a school day for me here. So folks, this, the Palace of James V. In 1537, James marries his first wife, Madeleine d'Aubois. This built the same dimensions as the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. And inside you'll also see, and I'll show you, some painting in the frieze around the wall, which we believe is potentially the Ark of the Covenant. The shape of the back of that, as I've already spoken about outside, we believe potentially might be to signify the Ark of the Covenant because of the links to the Temple of Solomon. The fruits that repeats throughout signifies prosperity, the grapes converted to wine, the blood of Christ. The round.
said a minute ago, they're rocks.
Oh yeah, it'd be hard to keep in flowers.